या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मीरारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। पूज्य माँ भगवती, पूज्य Sri Arvind, and you all the chosen children of our Divine Mother. The ancient rishis of our culture and all different spiritual research devotees of any cult of spirituality all over the world in East and West have up till now tried very hard and fast to find out the way to immortality. Mortality is a master problem. The way in which human existence started living on the earth, more they evolved, more they become cautious and conscious of mortality. Our Indian culture set three prime verdicts, dictums, and objectives of human life. One, that is Asato ma sadgamaya. Second, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. And third one, Mrutyurma amrutam gamaya. Gamaya is common. Gamaya means to execute velocity, to execute speed, to execute motion. Life is all the while changing. It's not static. Life is dynamic energy. But it is on the base of the static energy. And Einstein came to the level of finding the present condition of the entire cosmos on the fundamental principles of energy and velocity. Matter is put into action, then it becomes motion. The action on the part of the matter, while executing its own hidden energy, creates velocity. That is what human body has been right from its birth, constantly doing it. But still, it is the hidden velocity that gets reflected in external world as external velocity. Hidden velocity is derived from psychic. It appears to be deriving from mind. And ancient rishis in India and elsewhere too, they could not find out to bring out that hidden velocity which is faster, greater than the velocity of the external world. It might be the velocity of light, it might be the solar velocity, it might be the velocity of the solar light, or it might be the velocity of electricity, it might be the velocity of atom, electrons, molecules, protons, photons and neutrons. But the hidden velocity is the velocity which can include all different modes of velocity, and still it is greater, faster and ultimate. But our ancient rishis also could not find it out. The clue of this eternal infinite velocity. Einstein scientifically propounded E is equal to mc square, mass and velocity. Energy is nothing but the mass and velocity operating together, working together. So entire technology, entire electronics, entire physics of the world, entire different sciences of the world dedicated to matter, pertaining to matter, based on matter, they depend upon velocity. So human life, our Panchamahabhut, is also human matter. That is what Mother says in agenda. Matter at inert level is inert matter. Matter at human level is human matter. And matter at the level of consciousness is divine matter. So inert matter is static. Human matter is dynamic. And divine matter is eternal. Unless the static matter, which has become human matter because of the evolution. Now human matter has to be divine matter with yoga, spirituality, sadhana, penance, tap, where all different yogas of the world, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Yoga as a practice of Jainism, Yoga as a practice of Buddhism, Yoga as a practice of Jain, or everywhere that search executed on whatever principles, but ultimately the dictum before them is how mortality can be converted into immortality. Mrutyurma amrutam gamaya. That dictum is yet impracticable to all different practices of the yoga all over the world. This is for the first time that Sri Aurobindo took up the challenge of mortality and found out its solution. And that was the assignment given to him by Lord Krishna himself. Because Lord Krishna, while reciting Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, could not make Arjun immortal, could not make Arjun converted, transformed from Nar into Narayan. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Sri Vijayor Murti Dhruvani Nitir Matir Mamaha. Where there is Arjun, there is Lord Krishna. Where there is consciousness, there is matter. Where there is mortality, there is immortality. Where there is divinity, there is humanity. Where there is inert matter, there is divine consciousness. Still, Krishna did not experiment the transformation of human matter of Arjun into divine matter, though was in the same proximity, though was there to determine on behalf of Arjun. The same Lord Krishna came to Sri Aurobindo in Alipur jail and asked him to do it, where the programming was left out. Asatoma Sadgamaya was implemented. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya has also been implemented. Mrutyurma Amrutam Gamaya has not been implemented. Mrityu is a must forever, for all. And that is why Savitri starts with, this was the day when Satyavan must die. So must of death is not rooted out. And Sri Aurobindo's yoga is based on this dictum tamso ma jyoti, that mrityur ma amrutam gamaya. Living and experiencing mortality, we can achieve immortality. Rishi Munis accepted this truth, could not find out the way to that state. And naiti, 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 still further, still further, still further. But further to what extent and to what state? But is yet unknowable and unknown. This is the key Sri Aurobindo found out, and the same assignment was given to mother because earth was not ready. Inert matter was not ready. Static matter was not ready. With the result, human matter was also not ready. Human consciousness, dedicated, committed, confined to inert matter. How far evolved we are, but we are still static. Our Panchamahabhut, that is also similar to inert matter. And though human being we are living the life of animality. So we can't say that 100% we are human, in spite of having human matter as our form, human matter as our body, human matter as our figure. But the consciousness hidden in human matter is still dormant, is not still committed to infinite energy. It is up to MC square. The infinity still is in our center, is not totally accepted and totally operated by our human matter. Unless we get the matter, human matter, still one step further into divine matter, we cannot have the way to immortality, the way to infinity. We are still time bounded, we are still space bounded, we are still limited. So what is the cause of it? How we could not take migration, how we could not implement migration, how we could not exercise the energy, the velocity that can bring us from one room to another room, from one fish bowl to another fish bowl, from one world to another world. And that is the key Mother has found out, because it was the assignment given by Lord Krishna to Sri Aurobindo, and Sri Aurobindo assigned the same project to the Mother. Because of the earth was not ready, because of the humanity was not ready, Mother also spent her longer span of life in order to find out the final solution to mortality. So what is the hurdle? Hurdle is a very thin screen, onion skin, that is the screen in between. It is impenetrable. And what is onion skin? Mentality. So mind is the hurdle, mind is the veil, Why mind is the veil? Mind is the part of our anatomy. Mind is the part of our consciousness. Mind is the part of our nature. Mind is the topmost peak of our human nature. Still, it is hurdle. Our entire Prakriti is not hurdle. It is the highest peak of our Prakriti. It is the highest peak of our nature is hurdle. More powerful it is, more powerful hurdle it becomes. Our physicality is not utmost powerful. Our vitality is not utmost powerful. It is our mentality that is utmost powerful. And with much utmost power, that mentality becomes the hurdle to our right and appropriate, well oriented and organized march. That was for the first time found out, and Rishi Munis could not find it out, so they left the world. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. This is Mithya, falsehood. What appears to us, including our body, what appears to us, including our living life, though we are living, is Mithya, is falsehood, is death bound. Sri Aurobindo has written, death bound, little death bound entity is not we are. Srunavantu Amrutasya Putra, that was proclaimed by rishis, could not implement. This is for the first time that the final and ultimate reality proclaimed by Vedanta is put into practice so scientifically that it offered master solution to the entire humanity. It is not the search of the truth of Hinduism. It is not the search of Sanatan Dharma only. It is the search of the real, hidden, ultimate truth of entire humanity. And that is the find solution. I don't know. It is something, mother says, I don't know. It is something like that which is power. What is that consciousness, hidden consciousness? What is that hidden velocity? What is that hidden infinity? What is then hidden immortality? From which our humanity is born, from which our human portion is born, from which our human power is born, from which our human soul is born, from which our human existence is born. Everything is derived from this and this consciousness, but it is internal consciousness, hidden consciousness, not the external consciousness, external matter or external velocity. So this is the grand total of the all different dictums up till now experimented and found out through the physical sciences, including physics. And that is why it is new physics, and new physics committed to consciousness, committed to spirit. Physics up to Einstein and Stephen Hawking is committed to matter, committed to cosmos, committed to individual. Individual is the center for this physics, and cosmos is the vast circumference of the physics, but is committed to matter. Now this is the new physics that is committed to consciousness, because consciousness is also the subtlest form of matter. It is the energy that is so materialized at all different levels, at the level of liquid, at the level of fire, at the level of gas, at the level of light, solar light, electricity, at the level of the light of soul, that is consciousness, and still above. Still above. There lies the solution, right solution of the riddle of death. Limited we are bound to be death. We are bound to be mortality. We are mortality. Our cells, though they are immortal, our cells, though they are lightful, our cells, though they are mindful, but mind at its purest form, mind in its purest formulation, mind in its purest and ultimate velocity is lying there in our cell. If it is to be connected with our corporeal mind, it is connected with our mind which we experience every moment. That can bring us a new velocity, that can bring us a new motion, that can bring us a new state of consciousness, and that new state of consciousness is immortality. I don't know. It is something, Mother says. I don't define it. I experience it, but it is something. In Savitri, it is also written by Sri Aurobindo, something wished that knew not how to be. Road is not, Gamaya is not found out. Mrityorma mrutam Gamaya. Gamaya is not found out. Mrityu is there, death is there, immortality is there, but connectivity is not there. Way is not there. Something like that which is power. So what is that consciousness and what is that hidden energy? What is that hidden velocity? We'll have to continuously club these three words of physics: velocity, energy, and matter. These three are to be continuously kept together. Three are different forms. There is no qualitative difference. There is a quantitative difference, motional difference, not the qualitative difference. In quality, matter is velocity, velocity is matter, matter is energy, energy is matter. That is what Einstein found out. Both are interconvertible. So if matter is velocity, matter is energy, and energy is matter, and both are interconvertible, matter is consciousness and consciousness is matter, both are also equally interconvertible. We can get them converted. We have reached through Einstein up to the matter and energy, but energy is consciousness and consciousness is energy too. So consciousness also can be converted into matter, and matter can be converted into consciousness. Our body does not come in the way to immortality. That is the very first milestone. If we can get our matter appropriately organized and appropriately transformed, appropriately transfigured, then this matter, our mortal matter, can take us to the level of immortality. So what is it? It is something like that which is power. It is power. It is light. And truly it is love. It is love. And what is love? Love is light put into action. Love means affection put into realization. Love, bhav, in our Indian darshan, it is called bhav. Prem is common word, commonly used in sense of attachment, affinity. But it is not attachment and affinity. It is the bhav, that is the swabhav, that is the nature. Super nature is hidden in our mortal nature. It is the super nature, and super nature, that is that is the nature of the supreme light, that is the nature of the supreme truth, that is the nature of the supreme reality, that is the nature of Varam Rupam Jyoti. That is love. So love is the word, love is the nomenclature, love is the state that can include anything and everything. Krishna practiced it right from his birth. Purna Purushottam Paramatma in human form practiced it, but could not get this experiment successfully launched in Arjun. Sri Aurobindo got this assignment from Lord Krishna, and Krishna might have mandatorily asked Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo accepted in Uttarpada speech that Lord Krishna presented so many clues to me, and this is one of the master clue to execute the genuine, true and divine love into practice, where there lies the master clue of mortality. You can get mortality converted into immortality provided your cells of the body, atoms of the body, molecules of the body, photons, electrons and neutrons of the body can be so organized that the entire Prakriti can be transfigured. To the point that when I leave that state, mother says, what is my problem at this age? To the point that when I leave that state, when I leave this state, I could understand, I could experience, I could feel, but it doesn't become static for me, right? At that particular point, it's not static. It fluctuates from one stage to another stage, from one room to another room. Once again, I can enter into the old room. In meditation, we can see and we can feel certain things where mind is steady, mind is concentrating, mind is contemplating, mind is meditating. But the moment, if it passes on the second moment, it becomes original mind. It can take U-turn, but the state of U-turn is not constant, is not permanent, is not eternal. So immortality can be felt. Mother says, it is felt by me right now, but it doesn't become now the permanent stage. To the point that when I leave that state, I wonder if I still have the same shape. I wonder that I have the same shape once again. So what is the solution of it? It's a curious thing. Mother also says that it is a curious thing. The body feels it no longer belongs to the old way of being. The body feels it no longer and belongs to the old way of being. And immediately it starts once again, slips into the old state of consciousness. But it knows that. But it knows that it is not yet in the new one. Body knows that it is not yet in the new shape permanently. It is no longer mortal, but it is not immortal. It is no longer mortal. I feel that it is no longer mortal at this stage of my experience, but still it is not immortal. So it is just like a pendulum. It is going and reversing from mortality to immortality, from immortality to mortality. It is very strange. Mother says it is very strange. And sometimes I go from the most terrible discomfort to, I feel still more discomfort too at this age. A marvel, no doubt, it is a marvelous experience, but still it's not steady. Sometimes there is not a word in my head. Sometimes there is not a word in my head. I cannot express it through my language. Other times I see and know what is happening everywhere. It's really strange, but still it is taking place. It is shaping within me. That new world is being shaped at my cellular level. Not only that, externally also I can see that it is happening outside also, in the outside world too. What my cell experiences within my body, I can see the same thing in the cosmos also, where world entire earth, entire planet is one shell, is one shell. That is, even in inert matter also, I can see the same velocity, same power, same energy, same love. If time vanishes for the material bodily consciousness, then decay vanishes. And Satprem explains it. If time vanishes, if time disappears, if it becomes constant, if it becomes static, if it is not time bound, if that experience is not time bound, if that experience of the body of the mother is not for a moment, if it is permanent in the body, human body of the mother, it can be permanent in the entire cosmos. That is what Satprem understood. If time vanishes for the material bodily consciousness means the framework of our Panchmahabhut. If it takes place in mother's human body, then it will take place in the entire humanity, and it will take place in the entire world. Then decay vanishes, consequences vanish with their whole steering of lifelessness, accidents and death. Then there will be no accident, there will be no death, there will be no decay, there will be no disease. That is what Satprem concludes from the utterances of the mothers, in order to confirm by mother what I understand is all right or not, to get it confirmed. See the beauty of this book, that every experience half expressed by the mother, Satprem tries to accumulate, Satprem tries to coordinate, and not only coordination is final, it is the coordination that is to be okayed by the mother, then it is final. And that is written here. Mother says, in the usual state of consciousness, one does something for something. It is in the usual state of consciousness, one does something for something. For instance, all those Vedic rishis had a goal. As I told you, Srunavantu Amrutasya Putra. That was the goal. Mrutyurma Amrutam Gamaya. For them the goal was to find immortality. Rishis also had this goal fixed up, but no way found out. At any level, there is always a goal. We ourselves speak of supramental realization, but not so long ago. I don't know what happened. Something took hold of me. It wasn't thought, it wasn't a sensation, but rather something like a condition. Something externally captivates me. It is not that I am experiencing it. It is the force, external force, that captivates me and makes me to experience this new force, new power, new light. We call it supramental, but it forces me to do it. We ourselves speak of supramental realization, but not so long ago, I don't know what happened. Something took hold of me. It wasn't a thought. It's not thought. My mind is absolutely silent. My mind is non-operative. My mind doesn't intervene anywhere. It is not meddling. It is not intervening. It is silent, but still I get fluctuated to another room also, to my old room too. It wasn't sensation, but rather something like a condition. But it is like a condition. It is like a state of consciousness. My state of consciousness is being brought from one level of the state to the another level of the state. The condition, the unreality of the goal. I can feel and understand the unreality of the goal. My living is not for mortality. My life is not for mortality. That is what the level I can feel. This is not my goal. This is unreality. Death, disease, accident, and everything else, that is unreality. My goal is not unreality. My goal is something somewhere different. Now there is a sort of absoluteness in every single second. Now what time I want for me at present. Now there is a sort of absoluteness. There must be absoluteness in time. This time of mortality is not my goal. Time of absoluteness is my goal. In every single second, every moment, every movement from the most subtle and spiritual movement to the most material, the sense of sequence has disappeared. Now sequence disappears. It is a continuous flow. Sri Aurobindo has written, life is an eternal flux of consciousness. It is an eternal flux of consciousness. That is what Mother experienced. Most material, the sense of sequence has disappeared. The sequence has disappeared. This is not the cause of that. This is not done for that. One isn't aiming at that. All that seems, it is rather peculiar and innumerable, perpetual and simultaneous absolute. It is simultaneous absolute. The absolute time is being felt by me with this mortal time. Living in mortal time, breathing in mortal time, I can feel the absolute time at the cellular level. So the physical mind at the cellular level, the mind of light at the cellular level, the real genuine consciousness at the cellular level is being received. My corporal mind, the cells of my corporal mind are connected with it, and the moment they are connected with, that serial is over. Serial is not seen, serial is not experienced. I can feel the constancy, I can feel the continuity, I can feel the eternity, but is not kept constantly by me. The sense of connection is gone. That sense of connection disappears, is gone. That connectivity does not remain permanently as a part of my experience. Possibility I could feel, possibility and probability I could experience, but still I will have to make this probability a concrete reality for all. The sense of connection is gone. The sense of cause and effect is gone. All that belongs to the world of time. But all these things, what I experience in my mortal framework is to the world of time and space. It is the world of mortality. It is the mortal time and mortal space that my body feels in spite of having momentary experience of the immortality at my cellular level. Each what? I can't say. Movement or state of consciousness. So these are the half sentences noted by Satprem, and they are so connected by Satprem to find out the genuine meaning of the mother's expression. And as and when he is receiving certain statements, certain indications, Satprem always tries to reconfirm it by the mother. What I can say, movement or state of consciousness or vibration, for all these notions still belong to our mode of perception. So I say thing. Thing doesn't mean anything. I use word thing, mother says. I use word thing, but thing doesn't mean any object. It's not the question of object. I am all the while thinking of the subject, and subject means my I. And my I is not my eye of mentality, my eye of psychic. I always say think, but what thing it is? It is my subjective I. It is not my egoistic eye of mind. My mind is at this moment absolutely non-functioning and non-operative. Thing doesn't mean anything. Each thing carries in itself its own absolute law. The thing, my eye, always bears, my eye always reflects, my eye always experiences the absoluteness, the absolute law. There is total lack of cause and effect. There is no total lack of cause and effect. It is only continuity. This is the cause and this is the consequence. That is the law of physics. But this new physics is the physics of consciousness, where it is a continuity. But that still continuity is not my experience of the whole body. I can have the experience at cellular level. My certain cells are experiencing the same thing, experiencing this continuity and infinity. But still, something is yet to be done. That thing is still away from me. Though I am captivated by some force, I am captivated by some external power, but still I could not get it launched here, even within my body permanently. There is a total lack of cause and effect, goal, intention. This type of connection, mother makes a horizontal gesture, doesn't exist, only that vertical gesture, something that has neither cause nor effect, nor continuation, nor intention. Intention of what? It is like this, some vertical movement. The half sentence is just uttered by the mother, creates, at least for the time being, some sort of confusion and uncertainty even in the mind of Satprem. And that is also he honestly admitted here. A vertical time, new every second, Satprem tries to reconfirm. You are talking of a vertical time. If you are not talking of the horizontal time, then what time you are talking about? Kal and Mahakal. The difference between Kal and Mahakal, that was indicated by the mother. Satprem could not get the idea of it, could not get it in toto. Mother says, in the true position, there is neither friction nor wear and tear. Each second, mother says, each second has its own eternity and its own law. The time that I can feel momentarily here in my body is this time. Each second has its own eternity and its own law. This new time that is timeless is the time of eternity, has its own system, has its own motion, has its own movement, has its own eternity, continuity and constancy.